This is the August 2021 Phoenix, Arizona K1 speed race. So somehow, miraculously, I got pole position for this league race with a 25.5 second lap time, qualifying time in the second session. And then, to my advantage, coming in from that qualifier, it so happens I get the same kart for the race. So it's a 14 lap race. Only 7 people in this race. Mykl Hays is right behind me, and then Andrew, I forget his last name, Talsness, I think, something like that. And then David Haraldsen in P4, which was very strange because usually he's a P1 qualifier or very close to the top. So green flag on the outlap here. My strategy going into this was I was going to go defensive lap 1, maybe lap 2. So lap 1, I'm staying pretty close on that hairpin, and really that was about the only place that I was trying to defend. The rest of this is pretty straightforward. It's a tight track. There's not a whole lot of real estate to try to get your nose in there. That one maybe, but man, that'd be tough. So lap 2 here. I am semi-defensive on that hairpin, and so my plan was defensive lap 1, maybe lap 2, and then see if I could break away. So during qualifying, I was a 10th faster than the P2 qualifier. So I was hoping if I can get a run here, so now I try to take the regular line and totally screw up that hairpin. So that started making me nervous that if I can't nail that and get clean laps, there's no way I can break away. Even if I can consistently be a 10th faster overall, if I screw a turn up like that, I'm done. So after I knew I had slowed down that previous lap, I went semi-defensive again here, trying to hold off Mykl Hays behind me, or at least I assume that's who's behind me at this point because I'm not looking back. I could feel him bumping me a little bit, catching up here and there, especially toward the end of the race. The last probably 4 or 5 laps, he was right on me. But I decided to stay defensive here. That was not my plan. But as I got into this, and the further I got into it, the further I started thinking, well, if I can defend for 4 laps, surely I can defend for 5 or 6 or 8 or 10. So that's kind of where my mindset went. So I tried again there. I went wide, tried to take the optimal line, and that felt pretty good there. But then I think I started feeling him bumping me here. No, maybe it wasn't that lap. That looked pretty decent there. But there are a couple of laps where my kart on that horseshoe out in the far corner, I started to push way wide because I was getting pushed from Mykl. And there's not much you can do there other than try to cut back in and keep him from getting by. I was somewhat encouraged because by this point, that feels pretty tight there. By this point, I didn't even see another kart try to sneak in, because a lot of times what will happen is, even though this is a tight track, is this hairpin, you'll get somebody sneaking their nose in, oftentimes making contact, pushing you out, but they don't have enough to get by you there. So I was feeling pretty good that here we are, lap 8. Yeah, I still haven't seen anyone even stick their nose in the way for me to see it going into a turn. So at this point, lap 8, I'm now totally committed to, I'm going to defend the rest of the way. So I'm going in pretty tight here. And I felt like even though I was going inside on that hairpin, my lap times were not really suffering all that much, so that's probably there I go, pushed way wide, so I'm sure Mykl was behind me there, pushing me out, and then I tapped the wall there. That didn't help. But yeah, if I'm getting mid 25s, 25.5 to 25.7, and I'm taking that far of an inside line on that hairpin, that means to me I'm losing time somewhere else. So something for me to work on. So now coming up on lap 11, I'm flashing my times up here, but I haven't been paying attention. So back to 25.7. I think I'd slowed down to like 26.2. So now I'm back on the 25.7, and I'm pretty much just trying to stick to my line and really nail those two turns, because I had gotten sloppy, especially if Mykl was right behind me. And then this one, I'm trying to really get through that chicane as quickly as possible with I don't brake there at all, but I will lift. And it does seem like if you can nail your turn-in point on that chicane, you may not have to lift at all. So typically I will brake right there, give it a quick stab, and then here it'll slight lift back on the throttle before that apex. Down here I'm braking right about there, another quick stab. Sometimes it's kind of a double stab if I don't nail it. Sometimes I'm locking up those back brakes, but that's about it. So lap 13, it's going pretty good. At this point I'm thinking, man, all I gotta do is hold him off. So I'm gonna go inside here and just defend. I did not care about what kind of times I was running. I did not care about getting fastest lap. I was totally focused by this point of I'm not letting him pass me. I'm not going to block. Not going to do anything dumb. But as long as I'm taking a reasonable defensive line. So here he's going to come in, try to, right there. You can barely even see it because he didn't even quite get his cart all the way up. But he did make a move there at that chicane and tried to dive in. I know we talked a little bit about it after, where he was thinking that that's a decent spot where we could get in. I'm not sure it is. It's so tight there, and unless you get just a really killer run coming out of the previous turn, I don't see how you're going to get your cart halfway up before that apex or by the apex. I just don't see it. So there you go, start to finish. It somehow held P1, and then one of my favorite parts, the victory lap. I really didn't even expect it. The previous race, they didn't do a victory lap, and then this guy jumping out, that was funny. I loved it. So that was a super fun race. I did not expect to be in this position. In fact, I rented the camera thinking I can get some good, action and be able to narrate a video, seeing carts in front of me. And so this might be a super boring video to watch, but I'm sure I'll watch it again because that was fun for me. Good times. Super fun. I'm trying to chase down Supanee in the points totals for the season, for the 2021 season. Before this race, I was down 11 points, and I'm not sure on the math, but I think I made up 5 points on her in this race with 4 more to go in the season. So there's a shot. So I got to keep getting ahead of her. There's no way I could even chase down David, and he's too good and too consistent that I don't think that's reasonable expectation at all. Everybody there during this race was super cool. Alex, who's right in front of me there in the qualifier, he had a bad cart, and I totally respect him because he realized he had a bad cart and he just got out of the way, raised his hand, and that was super cool. That's it. Video's over. Hope you guys dig it, and I'll see you on the next one.